All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a leader's secret weapon, and it's probably not what you think. It's the power of a great story. We're going to break down how you can completely transform the way you communicate, persuade, and yeah, inspire, all with a really good narrative. So, I want to start with this quote. It comes from a master salesperson, of all places, at the New Jersey State Fair. And honestly, it just perfectly nails the big idea for today. How do you get past someone's stubborn logic and connect right with their heart? So, picture this. You're at the fair, you can smell the funnel cake, and there's a big, shiny new pickup truck on display. A young woman's job is to get people to just take a tour. Simple, right? Well, she's about to run into her toughest customers of the day. And here they come, two old-timers, bib overalls, long beards, and trucker caps from a rival brand, total loyalists. The young woman walks up and offers them a free cowboy hat just to take a quick look inside the truck. Their response? Well, let's just say it was chilly. Boom, a total shutdown. I mean, where do you even go from there? Most people would just give up. But this is where the magic happens. She doesn't start listing off facts and figures about horsepower, no. She completely reframes the whole situation. She turns to his buddy, and she drops that killer line we heard at the beginning. He's scared he's gonna like it. And just like that, it's not about the truck anymore, is it? It's about Dale's pride. Now he has to take the tour just to prove he's not scared. It's absolutely brilliant. And here's the real kicker. She didn't sell them a thing. What she did was make friends with them. She built a real human connection, and that's what changed their minds, not a spec sheet. So the big question is, why did that work so well? I mean, what's the secret sauce here? Well, it turns out she tapped into a fundamental truth about how every single one of us is wired. You know, we all love to think of ourselves as these super logical, rational beings, carefully weighing all the pros and cons. But the truth is, our brains are kind of lazy. They prefer the express lane. Making emotional decisions is fast, it's intuitive, and frankly, it's just less work. And this right here is the storyteller's superpower. Your job as a leader isn't to win a debate, it's to create a feeling of trust, to create a shared experience. Because once people feel connected to you, that's when they're truly ready to hear what you have to say. Okay, so how do we actually build that trust? Well, it often starts by dodging one of the biggest, most common mistakes that leaders make all the time. Think about it. When you tell the story where you're the big hero who swooped in and saved the day, your audience's defenses immediately go up. They get skeptical. But when you tell a story where you're admiring someone else's brilliant work, you're suddenly standing right there with your audience, shoulder to shoulder, sharing in that admiration. It changes everything. You know, it reminds me of what George Orwell once said. Self-praise just doesn't feel authentic. Deep down, we all know that real life is messy. It's not just one victory after another. And trying to paint that perfect picture, it just creates distance. It doesn't build a connection. I like to call this the Grand Canyon effect. Imagine seeing something truly breathtaking, right? The Grand Canyon, a sunset, whatever. What's the very first thing you do? You turn to the person next to you and say, wow, look at that. We have this deep-seated need to share amazing moments. A great story lets you do exactly that with your audience. You share the discovery together. Okay, so how do we make this stuff practical? Let's talk about a couple of plays you can actually run, especially if you're in a field like, say, cybersecurity, where your best work is often completely invisible. So let's say you're in a budget meeting. You can't just say, well, nothing bad happened last quarter, so give us more money. That's not a story. Instead, you run the bodyguard play. You paint a vivid picture of the threats out there. Tell the story of that slimy lawyer who's just sitting there praying for a data breach. Then, you position your team as the bodyguards, the people who make sure your company never has to meet that guy. See? You're not a cost center, you're the shield. All right, what about when you want to celebrate your team? Use the talent scout play. It's simple. Take yourself out of the spotlight. Instead of saying, I made a brilliant hire, which is really about you, try something like, I was so lucky to stumble across this person's talent. This makes the praise feel so much more genuine, and it positions you as a leader who finds and elevates excellence in others. That's way more powerful. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I'm not a natural storyteller. Well, I've got good news for you. You don't have to be. This is not some innate talent. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be built. And here is the brutally simple, maybe a little painful path to getting better. Take out your phone and record yourself telling a short story. Step 2, watch it back, and yes, you're going to cringe. We all do. It's awful. But step 3 is the most important. Get over the cringe. Find just one tiny thing you can improve, and then do it again and again. You just have to be willing to be bad at it for a little while. Because look, the goal here isn't to become a world-class orator overnight. It's just about getting 1% better. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the magic of compounding, right? Those tiny improvements, day after day, they build into something truly amazing over time. Because at the end of the day, your leadership story is being written in real time. Every meeting, every presentation, every one-on-one conversation, they're all opportunities to write that next chapter. So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?